I've seen as high as 242 kilowatts. These cars, they claim that they will charge from 10 to 80% in 18 minutes. And that is a valid claim. Welcome to another episode of OUTOFDAVEBF Dave, where I find myself here in Stamford, Connecticut at the Hertz rental car counter. This is located right at the Marriott Hotel in downtown Stamford. And today is an exciting day because I had the choice of renting in either a Chevy Bolt or the EV6. And I put a poll out 4 hours ago, and 76% of you said, get the EV6, Dave, go for the EV6. So I just saw it outside. You can't believe this. You can't make it up. It's a red one. So I really am not going to miss Pladdington, at least not that much. So anyway, I'm super excited for this EV6, going to spend some time with it. And, you know, I might just return this on Monday and swap it out for the Bolt, just because a lot of people, at least 24% of you said, hey, get the Bolt. So maybe I'll do over the next 10 days, I'll have the EV6 for half the time and the Bolt for the other half the time. So stick with me. Let's get into it and let's check out the Kia EV6. All right, well, she's all mine for at least 10 days, or it could be as long as I want, as long as I just keep paying the rental fee. The thing is pretty beat up. It's got a lot of spots all over it that are not so good, but we just went over the whole car. The gentleman here from Hertz. It's at a 46% state of charge, which is quite low. The problem is they don't have a way to charge the cars here at this location in the Marriott Marquis. Or the Marriott Hotel. So what they need to do is they need to go up to Ridgeway or find a, Electrify America is where they tend to go and charge their cars. I personally have an issue with that. I don't think that Hertz should be in the business of renting out EVs without the facility or the ability, I should say, to charge them on their own site. I realize that's expensive and they're trying to, move forward with electric vehicles and all of that. But it's a little bit of a shame that they don't have that. I guess the last guy that rented the car, he had no idea how to charge it. They recommended that I go to Charge Point in Darien. I don't know where that is, and I live here. If someone does know where it is, let me know. I'm talking about DC fast charging. I won't have any problem with this because, I've got a level 2 at home, and I'll plug it in tonight, charge it up. And yeah, we're going to be doing some testing with this puppy, and I'm excited. So let's get inside and check out the car. All right, so I've gone through many of the menus already here before I've taken off from Hertz. The guys they're already long gone. They shut up. They shut up their doors and they're out of here. Super nice guys. Sort of into EVs. One of the guys drives a 2 Series, which is a beautiful little car, BMW. So the first thing I did was I went to vehicle, and I noticed a lot of different modes. You can actually access the screens either by here or on the picture. So I kind of like this, very similar to, in some ways, the Genesis and also the IONIQ 5. I mean, keep in mind, this is all the underpinnings of this car is the EGMP platform. And so it's all basically the same, just different ways of displaying the information. To start up the car, you've got this little button down here. There's this waterfall, not a waterfall, but just sort of a ledge, sort of, I don't know how you describe this thing sitting there. It's pretty nice. I mean, I feel pretty comfortable. There's a wireless charging port here, 2 cup holders. The wireless charging port feels good. You've got heated seats and cooled seats on this rig. I will find out what the trim level of this is in a minute, but heated seats and cooled seats tells me it's not base, and these do feel like leather seats to me, which is pretty nice. But anyway, highway driving assist was off, so I turned that on. Let me go back over here. Forward safety, interestingly enough, that was off as well, which I put it on the active assist. Driver attention warning, that was set to, actually, inattentive driver warning was off, as was leading vehicle departure. I turned those both on for me. Blind spot safety, this was not on
As a matter of fact, it was off, and to me, I think that's a miss. I think that the cars, it didn't seem like anyone really went through this vehicle to start. Lane safety. This is kind of like popping you back in the lane. I'm going to have to see if this has HDA 1 or HDA 2 on it when I drive. I believe it does, just because I see over here, I think we're going to have HDA, at least one. We'll check it out and see if we have lane changing, which will be the indication of lane of HDA 2. I don't know if there's forward collision warning, side, if you will, side alert. I'm going to check that out as well. But let me just see what this says here. Provides a warning in vehicle control when risk of a forward collision, but I'm not sure if there's cross traffic alert in the front. If there isn't, then it's most likely HDA 1 from what I recall. Lane safety, we went over this. That's just going to push you back. That sometimes is a little bit annoying for me, or to me. The other thing is, from an EV standpoint, they have these set to DC fast charge to 100% and AC fast charge or AC charge up to 100% as well. This vehicle's got 9,000 miles on it, and it's at a 47% state of charge. There's different drive modes. I remember this. You've got Eco, Sport, Normal, and you'll notice that unlike the Genesis, which had that boost button over here, it doesn't have it. So it has the button over here, but not over there. Lots of controls, lots of buttons. It is touchscreen. I do like the layout. I've got plenty of headroom in here. I think I'm gonna take it for a drive. Interesting how you put this car in gear. You just turn that, put it in park like that. No big deal. Yeah, so let me see what this does. Oh, look at that. We've got a little camera action going there. I'm gonna reset the trip meter, and I'm going to drive this EV6. It's going to be a good time. Just like my IONIQ 5 and the GV60, they've got different levels of regen. And what you can do is you can cycle through them. So if you start off by pushing these or pulling the paddles on the wheel, you can start off in level 1, level 2. Actually, you can go all the way down to level 0, which is no regen. Then you can go to level 1, level 2, level 3, and then you have one pedal driving, I pedal, they call it. And then if you hold it in, then you go to what's called, I think it's the auto mode, if I remember correctly. Let me think, how do I get there? There we go. You just got to hold the right paddle in. And what that will do is it will change the level of regen based on the driving conditions that you have. I never did like that. I'll give it another shot with this car. But I think from what I recall, especially around town driving, let me see, I like actually I pedal. There we go, I pedal. That's what I'm going to keep it in for now.
All right, so let's talk about this EV6. I've really been enjoying the car. Some of you know that I've had in the Hyundai IONIQ 5, and my wife had the GV60, but this is really the EGMP platform car that underpins all of the new sort of Kia, Genesis, Hyundai. It's all the same car. Depending on the battery pack that you get, the one that I have is a rear-wheel drive. It's a longer range rear-wheel drive, 77.4 kilowatt hour, high-density lithium-ion battery. It's rated at 310 miles of range, I believe. For the all-wheel drive, maybe a little bit longer for the rear-wheel drive. I have to check that out. It's 800-volt multi-charging architecture. This is DC fast charging. If you go to a 350, I will tell you that I have charged from 10 to 80% multiple times, which is about 215, 220 miles of range in about 18 minutes. And I've repeated that. It's a 114-inch wheelbase, I believe just a little bit shorter than perhaps the IONIQ 5. It's similar to the Telluride, which is a little bit deceiving. It's got a decent amount of storage facilities, storage rooms, a pretty good stereo system, the Meridian sound system. If you get this in the all-wheel drive variant, 0 to 60 is about 4.6 seconds. Although the performance, let me just check this out. The new GT Performance, where is that? Boy, I think it's 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds. That's something that I saw the statistic for that somewhere recently, but we'll go over that in a minute. Let's see. It's got vehicle to load V2L function, which turns the EV6 really into a mobile power station or source for computers, light stuff, camping, tailgating, backup power at home, perhaps a little bit of that, which is a good thing. The one that I rented from Hertz is this runway red, and it actually has the interior that I'll be showing you. By the way, nice website here. I like this. It's kind of a black vegan Syntex seat trim, and there's actually heated and cooled seats. You'll see in what they're showing here, this is the cooled seat, this is the heated seat. Right there is where there would be a heated steering wheel. My car that I rented does not have the heated steering wheel, which was a little bit of a letdown. Whoa. Let me go back over to here. There we go. Yeah, so just continuing on, depending on the trim that you can get a heads-up augmented reality display for the vehicle, which projects three-dimensional images on the windscreen. But it's really depending on the spec that you get. Just to reiterate, these start relatively inexpensive, but keep in mind you don't get the $7,500 federal tax credit because this car is made outside the United States. The light R-wheel drive, that vehicle is got about 200 and I think 50 miles of range. Let's look and see what that says as far as some of the features that it has. It's a 58 kilowatt hour battery pack, 232 miles of EPA rated range. If budget's really a concern, that's a good way to go. Not super fast, I can tell you, driving around in the rear wheel drive, but big battery pack that I have. But look, it's pretty well equipped for an inexpensive car. It's a tough compare to the Model 3s, but it is a little bit of a different vehicle. It's a lot more vehicle, in my opinion. It charges very quickly. Again, that 800 volt comes with 19-inch wheels, heated front seats, power front seats, driver, a great warranty, two 12.5 or 12.3-inch screens, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, which I love. It's got lots of USB ports, and it's got some blind spot detection, rear cross traffic alert, lane keeping and follow assist, smart cruise. So these are standard features of the light rear wheel drive. So you get a lot for your money with that vehicle. When you go over to the rear wheel drive, this one's the longer range. You get the bigger battery pack, 77.4 kilowatt hours, I should say. Still not super fast. I don't see the 0 to 60 time here. I should have gotten my device out to do a fun run and just kind of see what this is all about. When you switch over to the all-wheel drive variant, you do get a lot more horsepower, 320 horsepower, and the 0 to 60 is 4.6 seconds 0 to 60. The one that I've got is the Wind. Now let me go back over and let me just check this out for a second. I'm going to go over to the Wind rear-wheel drive. This is the color that I have, and this is the interior that I have as well. So the features, the standard features that it has, the vehicle that I'm driving right now, is still 225 horsepower, 77.4 kilowatt hours battery pack. And but it's missing certain things. It doesn't have the tech package, which I think the one that I have doesn't have the tech package. Surround view monitoring, the blind spot view monitor. You don't get those little video pop-ups that I'm sort of used to in my IONIQ 5 or the Genesis GV60. Park collision avoidance, you don't get that in the assist, but you do get rear cross traffic. I've noticed that does kick up. Then when you go up to the wind all-wheel drive, now you've crossed over the $50,000 mark. You're up into some, a little bit bigger money depending on the colors that you choose. There's some optional colors. What is this one here? $495 steel matte gray. It doesn't allow you to. Oh, not available. And yeah, I mean, you start getting into some additional features in this vehicle. Cold weather ready, so I think that's where you get the heated steering wheel, and it also comes with the heat pump as well. When you go up to the wind line, when you go up to the GT line, which is different from the GT, but the GT line is $57,600, and this one here adds. Let's check out some of the features that this adds. Again, same sort of drivetrain, a little bit different styling, 20-inch wheels, heated and ventilated seats. Now this is where you get the heated steering wheel and the heated outboard rear seats as well. Towing capability is pretty much the same in all these vehicles. But then you get the you get the tech package, I guess, blind spot technology, or is that an option? Let me just look at that. It looks like it comes with it. All right, so yeah, with the GT line, it's kind of a little bit better. You do get, I believe this comes with a. Let me just check out the interior on here. How do you do that? Oh yeah, here we go. Let me just see. Does this one come with the roof? Yeah. So what's nice about this roof is it's a power opening moonroof, not huge, but at least you can let the wind sort of blow in your hair there, which is quite nice. And then the GT all-wheel drive, this one here is pretty crazy. 576 horsepower, 545 pound-feet of torque. 21-inch alloy wheels. Let's check out what it looks like on the outside. Let's see what it looks like in that red color. Really kind of a cool-looking car. A lot of spiciness going on here. So, but look, it's not cheap. $61,600 is the starting price. Let's see what options you can put on this car. Not a heck of a lot. Not a heck of a lot of options. It seems like it comes pretty well equipped. At the heart of the EV6 is really a nickel cobalt manganese 80, 10, and 10 battery pack. Which, as I mentioned before, is available in either a 58 kilowatt hour or a 77.4 kilowatt hour size. It's a interesting sort of you've got a flat floor and you have a lot of room in the car in terms of at your feet. You do have this vehicle to load, which is basically back in here. You can put a device right in the charging port. The good thing about these cars also is that they are going to be supporting the NACS infrastructure, so you'll be able to charge this at Tesla superchargers. I went up today and charged at a V3 Magic Dock in Brewster, and the most I was able to pull there was 97 kilowatts. So keep that in mind. It's a nice convenience if you find a Magic Dock. But once the 1000 volt V4s start coming out, and I don't just mean the dispensers, but I mean the actual chargers that feed the dispensers, you'll get a lot faster charging speeds with either native NACS once this car comes out with it, or you'll or else you'll have a much with the adapter, you're going to get only 97 kilowatts. So keep in mind, on a 150, I charged today at an Apple Green, and the 150 charger, I was able to pull 154 max. But on an Electrify America 150, I've seen as much as 174, 175 kilowatts, even on a 150. And again, that's because of the 800 volt architecture. So you get a great interior with these 12.3-inch dual panoramic displays. Optional augmented reality, I think on the higher trims is actually very good, quite good. Remote parking assist, I don't know, I don't use that stuff. And dependable connectivity, you know, you got an app, whatever. I mean, all these things, you've got them. They claim this is a CUV. I don't know. I mean, there is a lot of room in the back. I guess it's a crossover utility vehicle. I see it as more of a car. You know, it tells you on here, go online, check out the website. I think the website is exceptionally good. See, this is that little video camera that allows you, when you put on your turn signals, you know, without the tech package, you don't get the 360 surround sound. You just, you do get some indicators as to whether or not you're going to hit something or not. And I will tell you that I was parked in front of a bollard today, similar to what Kathy parked in with the vision-only Tesla Model Y, and this is a much better system. The forward collision avoidance and the rear traffic cross, these are all really good things. The sound system is decent. It's 14 speakers. There is a subwoofer in the back of the car that I rented. You can put a lot of stuff in there. So, you know, listen, it's a good vehicle. You know, if you buy the vehicle new, I believe they're still giving 1,000 kilowatt hours usable over free energy over a 3-year period. And I think that that's approximately good for about 4,000 miles of energy on the 77.4 kilowatt hour, you know, units themselves. So look, you know, this is a nice vehicle. I'm glad that I rented it, and in this video we're going to actually take it on a little bit of a road trip. On a separate video I'm going to do, I'm going to charge it both on a CCS and also on the Magic Dock that's equipped with the CCS. If you're in the market for an EV6, I highly encourage you to go to the website. It's actually quite an amazing website. I'll scroll down so you can see all the way they do this is really great. All the different trims, all the different prices, and then all the different features and specs. I love this matrix format. You know, the advanced driver assistance that's available in this car, I think there's about 21 standard active sort of features, if you will, including blind spot avoidance assist. Under certain circumstances, it can detect vehicles traveling in the next lane. When a vehicle is detected in the blind spot, it basically breaks the outer wheel under certain conditions, and it brings the car back into its lane. Driver attention warning, it senses if you're getting sleepy, right? And it gives you an audible and a visual alarm for that. Forward collision avoidance. This is something that assists the driver when braking to help prevent a collision or lessen the effects in certain conditions. If you know, if a vehicle's detected in front of you, uses automatic braking to avoid or mitigate an impact. High beam assist, you know, listen, that's kind of standard stuff, but you know, switch on the high beams and then turn them off. HDA, which is, unlike a lot of people, they think it stands for Highway Driver Assist or Hyundai Driver Assist, but it's actually Highway Driving Assist. And there's two versions of this. It's sort of HDA or HDA2, and depending on the trim level that you get, HDA will give you lane centering, and it will give you dynamic or adaptive cruise control. HDA2 is kind of a step further. It provides lane changing, which is nice, and then it also gives you front traffic, cross traffic alert, which is good. There's an intelligent speed limit assist system which recognizes signs and provides relevant feedback in the cluster, and also if you have augmented reality or the heads-up display. There's navigation-based smart control, cruise control, leverages the navigation to lower the vehicle speeds proactively before coming up in curves in the road. I've never noticed that it does that, and then rear cross traffic collision avoidance assist. It helps detect most approaching, cross traffic. If you've got a car coming in the back, great for malls and sort of parking lots and all of that. With HDA2, it adds it in the front as well, which is great. So the tech package, I think, is worth it. Check that box. I would go through it and look at all the different features that you need. But I do think the tech package is worth it, if for no other reason that you get to see the little video circles with the cameras, and also you get the full 360 for parking, which I think is a very good thing. There are other features that these vehicles have. I was mentioning the surround view monitoring, uses 4 cameras to provide a 360-degree perspective around the vehicle. Parking collision avoidance assist in reverse. This thing will, if you're backing up into something and you're about to hit it, it'll make some audible noises and it'll slam on the brakes. It's kind of freaky when it happens, but it's a good thing because you can definitely avoid accidents with that. There's rear occupant alert. Upon exiting the vehicle, it'll tell you if you've left something in the back, hopefully not your kid. And with respect to your dog, there is no dog mode on these cars, but there is a utility mode that you can set and monitor the temperature of your vehicle, I think for up to about a half hour. And that's good. There are little nitpicky things that this doesn't have that I wish it did. If you walk up to the car, I wish it would unlock the vehicle. At least in the version that I have, it doesn't do that with the wind rear wheel drive without the tech package. Perhaps the higher trim packages did that. I believe my IONIQ 5 did that. And when you walk away, you have to lock the car, and I don't know, other little things. Just you have to turn the car on with a button or turn it off. Maybe I'm just getting used to Tesla, but you don't really have to do that with Tesla. So again, I encourage you to check out the website and all these different features. You can see how many different things there are in terms of options and all of that. A great website. But let's get into driving the car now.
All right, so Kathy, here we are in the EV6, and we're also on Route 95 in a ton of traffic. And one of the good things about this EV6, and I get, I'm back in this EGMP car where I remember the highway, I call it the Hyundai driver assistance, but the highway driver assistance. This car has HDA, not HDA2. But it's great. I really like it, using it in this type of traffic. And so just to go over some of the things, what do you think about this? Does it feel familiar to you?
Well, honestly, it feels a lot like my Genesis GV60.
Right.
Having the double screens.
Yes.
Feels very familiar. This little twisty knob here in the center console. I had the crystal ball.
Yes.
Still miss my crystal ball.
And this is like the similar placement,
design.
right? Yeah. So we're in obviously stop and go traffic right now, which is
Annoying.
And but here it is. Where's the temperature on this thing? Let me see. Oh, look at this. It's December 16th. And it's 58 degrees out in Connecticut. Yeah. So, all right, let's go over some of the things on this car that are familiar to me. You'll notice, you remember your car had drive modes, right? This car also has drive mode. It has Eco, Normal, and Sport.
Okay.
Your car also had a boost button over on the right-hand side, which balanced off the feng shui. Is that how you say it? Feng shui. And but this car doesn't have the boost. This particular spec is a wind. It is a hardtop, no glass roof. It is a rear-wheel drive, which has got about 165 kilowatt motor just in the rear, permanent magnet. If it were an all-wheel drive variant, you would have an additional motor up front. And when you're in the eco mode, or in the normal mode, it'll power the car, I believe, from the rear, and then it will disconnect the front motor to get better efficiency, is kind of how that works. Yeah, so you've got the 3 drive modes. You've got the HDA, which is rear cross traffic alert. So it's got the sensors in the rear, but not in the front, which is exactly what you had in your Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
It will do lane centering, and it will do as well as, let's put this on, there we go. It'll do lane centering, and it will do adaptive cruise control, but it will not do automatic lane changes. The way the lane changes work in this car, or any of the EGMP platform cars, whether it's the IONIQ 5 or the GV60, HDA will, if you put your turn signal on, it will stop auto steering, and then what you'll do is you'll manually take the lane. But as soon as it grabs the other lane, it'll read the lines in the other lane, and it will recapture them, so you don't have to re-engage, which is really good. Are you trying to figure out this control?
Yeah, I'm trying to make it cooler in here.
Okay, so
I'm on it. I just feel like I'm not getting cold air, and it says it's on AC.
okay, so let's
Oh, you know why? It's up here. Can you get it down to the vents?
turn this off.
It's hard to see with the sun.
Yeah,
No, I'm still feeling hot. Oh,
now it's coming out.
is it?
yeah.
Ah, there we go.
Crisis averted.
Whew, it's
Yeah.
getting toasty.
You know, it's like every car has got its little nuance, and you kind of need to figure it out as far as where all the buttons are.
Yeah.
This center console, I feel really good. I'm 6'5", plenty of headroom in this car, plenty of headroom, and the center console, like where both my arms rest, is great. No issues.
I was going to ask you about your right knee. Do you feel like a little tight with the console and with your leg?
A little bit tight here with my right knee, but not like Polestar 2 tight.
Right.
Like I wouldn't not buy this car because of that. The IONIQ 5, at least the limited version that I had, remember it had that center console where you could slide it back. And then you had this whole area in the front where it was completely open. And this is not like that. This is more similar to the GV60 in the design, that it's got this sort of cliffhanger center console that's going over.
Well, the nice thing I also like, under the center console on the floor is another compartment, and you can throw pretty large things in there. You know, it's a good place for a handbag,
right,
camera bag.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's nice design down there, and a lot of plugs.
Yeah, you got type, USB Type A and Type C, plus 2 DC 12 volt accessory plugs down there.
You can get around this truck.
I could.
I don't like not seeing.
All right, I'm going to go in front of the DeSantis bus. Ron DeSantis is behind us.
I doubt it.
He is.
But I bet his team is here.
His bus is right behind us. Oh, you don't think he's on the bus?
No.
What, do you think he flies from place to place?
Yes, of course.
Come on, he doesn't have that kind of budget. He's just a governor of a state.
Honey, all these people are campaigning. They don't have time to take a 10-hour bus drive.
Yeah, I guess, you know what? Well, what's cool, did you see, like, everybody signs the bus. There's like...
Yeah, I did see that.
All right, Suzuki SX4, get in front of me. Go ahead. There you go. All right. Yeah, this traffic is nasty. This is worse than a weekday.
I think it's taken us a half hour already.
I'm getting picked off all over the place here.
It's the way he drives. Too much room.
Yeah. Conventional car.
You're inviting people in.
You've got, can we focus on the review here?
You won't just cut all of that.
No, Kath. No, we're not going to cut it. Anyway, this car has conventional windows in terms of the power windows.
You know what it has that I love?
Okay, wait, let me guess. I don't know.
Beats Tesla hands down.
Oh, grab handles. Yeah, that's true. It does have grab handles.
Although at this pace, we don't need them.
Yeah.
But still, what a great idea.
This spec has heated seats and cooled seats. And I got to tell you something, these cooled seats, I put on the heated seat before, and but I actually put on the cooled seats, and
you got chilly.
I got chilly very quickly. Extremely good cooled seats in this car. But what's weird, unless I'm missing it, I don't see I don't see a heated steering wheel anywhere.
Yeah, I'm looking too, but maybe
In the
as
menu
we
somewhere?
drive today. Yeah.
All right, maybe it's in, but I mean, it should be a button. There's a lot of
Yeah, or it
buttons.
should be on the
There's
steering
tons
wheel.
of buttons on the steering wheel. The steering wheel has got this giant Kia thing in your face. It's this I don't know. It's not the most. It's not the best.
Not very stylish.
Not very stylish. It's a round steering wheel. We're starting to get into these odd shaped steering wheels now. These squircles or flat bottom steering wheels and all that.
Squircle?
Squircle. It's like a square circle. It's not a yoke.
No, I could figure out why. It's just a funny word.
Yeah.
A squircle.
Yeah, a squircle.
Never said that word before.
How do you like it?
I don't know.
The door handles are a little weird. Like when you have to push in and then grab.
Well, we've had cars with that before.
I know, but if you're an Uber driver and you're driving an EV6 and somebody walks into the car, walks up to the car, they're going to be like, how do I get into this thing?
Right.
Once you learn it once, you got it.
One would hope.
Yeah. Ooh, what do we got? EQS AMG.
No, I like squirrel.
What? That's not like squirrel. That's a beautiful.
No, I know it's
beautiful car. Tylenol pill going down the road right there. If it were white. So this car also, and by the way, I do call this a car. This is not anyone who says this is a sport utility. I've heard people say the IONIQ 5 is a sport utility. This is a little bit shorter wheelbase than the IONIQ 5. The IONIQ 5, interestingly enough, appears smaller to me than an EV6, but it's actually, the wheelbase is a little bit longer. And the GV60 of the three is actually the shortest and the smallest of all three of the EGMP platform cars. But they're all basically the same. These headrests remind me of like the dentist chair.
You know,
do you see these things? They're kind of...
but I don't feel like I need my pillow that I keep in the
Oh,
Tesla. Yeah. My head, it fills up the right space.
Yeah. Do you hear that sound generator?
I feel like we're in a spaceship.
I hear it, right. It feels.
I heard it when you backed
and
out.
I'm doing 36 miles an hour and I still hear it. I don't like that. It's loud. It's noticeable.
Yes.
I would definitely pull that fuse if I owned this car. Yeah, I mean, look, it's I feel like it's a car. And
it's a car.
Extremely well built. These, whether it's Genesis, Kia, Hyundai, great build quality.
You know, this material here on the front.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean,
well, I guess it is plastic. From a distance, there's a grain to it.
It almost looks like a fabric, but it's not.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Lucid, that fabric that was there. But now that I touch it, I can tell that it's not.
But it's aesthetically nice.
No, it is. Leather seats. I think they're leather. Right?
I think they are leather. Yeah.
Some nice stitching around the edges. But I actually like this, and there's good cushion here.
Yeah.
And because they come out, I don't need that neck pillow.
You know, this is actually not the first time I've ever driven an EV6. The first video, in fact, ever to go up on this channel, Out of Spec Dave, we compared, my buddy Paul and I, we compared the IONIQ 5, the GV60, and he had the EV6. As a matter of fact, he had two of them. You know, back in the day when the EVs were selling like hotcakes during COVID, they were getting 10 grand, 15 grand over sticker for these things. So the used marketplace is sort of dislocated right now. There's no $7,500 federal tax credit on any of these cars made in South Korea because they're made in South Korea. They got to be made in the U.S. There is that loophole that you can play around with, and if you want to lease one of these, which will basically the dealer will give you the full. My understanding is the dealer will give you the full $7,500 federal tax credit as a cap cost reduction on your lease, the principal amount of the lease that you need to finance or pay down over the life of the lease, whether it's 24, 36, 48 months, whatever. So that kind of drives the lease payment down. And, you know, in a lot of cases, leasing can make some good sense with EVs because technology is changing so fast, so rapidly. The architecture of this car, there's Valbella's right over there.
good restaurant.
Great restaurant. It is a great restaurant in Greenwich.
Restaurant.
I had lunch there recently.
Regis Philbin used to talk
Regis,
about going there all the time.
Yeah, Kathy Lee.
So we all learned about Valbella's.
Yeah, great restaurant, really good service, highly recommend it. Bring your checkbook. I would say definitely do that. Good. But you know, this vehicle is built on a different architecture. It's in quote 800 volt architecture, which means the componentry is much smaller, similar to like the Lucid Air in that sense that it's a bit of a different way that they build these cars. These EGMP platform cars charge incredibly fast. If you find the proper working CCS, let's just say an Electrify America 350 kilowatt, I've seen as high as 242 kilowatts. These cars, they claim that they will charge from 10 to 80% in 18 minutes, and that is a valid claim. I at least on my IONIQ 5, I tested it. You know, Hyundai, Kia, Genesis did announce that they're going to be moving over to the NACS platform, so they'll be, you know, initially bringing out an adapter at some point in 2024, which is great, and then they'll go native NACS down the road. I am going to drive this car.
Did you say, maybe I missed it, how many miles this car goes before you need to charge?
Yeah, it's, well, so 100% down to zero is about, it's about 250, 260, somewhere in there. I'd have to check the rear wheel drive variant. I know this is definitely a rear wheel drive because I punched it. I mean, there's nowhere, I think we could go in the map here. There's a way to look.
Well, also maybe you should have one of your little buttons for a different mode, but we were slow.
Yeah, I mean, and you were like, wow, this thing's not fast at all.
Not at all.
I mean, keep in mind, you're driving a Model Y every day with acceleration boost. That thing is, I did it anecdotally, I did a 0 to 60 test with my Racebox electronic, and I pulled on one pull, fun pull. Don't worry, Kyle, I'm not doing any official testing, but I did a fun pull. I did 5 runs, and I was, so 0 to 60 on the Model Y is 4.8 stated, and usually Tesla overstates things, but they kind of understated this. They claim for that $2,000 acceleration boost, you get a half-second drop-off. I pulled 4.03 on one pull. Every other one, I was like 4.12, 4.13. So instead of going down from 4.8, you know, down to 4.3, it's in the low 4s, which it feels fast.
No, it is fast. That's why I noticed the difference when I got in this. I went,
yeah, here we are doing, we're doing 55 right now. I'm going to
hear how loud that buzzing is, though?
I hear it.
I guess that's why you just turn on the radio.
Punch this right now. Just feel how this thing, tell me what you think. Like, listen to the sound. That's got to be a setting. I bet the sound generation,
well, I think
we're going to find that.
We'll play around.
Yeah.
With the buttons.
It's got some, these vehicles, the entertainment system, the user interface, it's all quite good. It takes you a little while to figure out where everything is. Maybe it's just because I'm not in the vehicle that often.
Well, you know, I still had trouble figuing out the
GV60.
There were so many screens and menus.
Yeah.
So I only learned what I needed to know. And when I needed to know something, I looked it up.
Yeah. One of the other benefits of whether it's a GV60 IONIQ 5 or an EV6 is this vehicle to load. So you have typically, you have to buy an adapter unless you get in the high-end spec one, and you can plug it into your charging port, and you can actually power things outside the car. And remember that time you cooked me, you made me toast?
I made you toast.
Toast. Actually, was it an English muffin? Or was it just toast?
Well, I brought the toaster. I popped some. No, I think maybe it was an English muffin.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Anyway,
you know,
that was funny, and I couldn't believe we could actually do that in a park.
And the thing is, you know, like what can you? What is this guy doing?
I don't know.
What can you do with that? Well, it depends on, you know, on how many things you're going to power. I don't remember exactly I think it was. My recollection was something like maybe 1,600 watts out.
Why,
800 watts for the one right inside and 800 watts for the one
but
outside.
isn't it a good use if you're tailgating
Yeah.
or you're camping?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're somewhere where an outlet isn't handy.
Yeah.
You may need it.
It's
I think
good.
It's a great
Or
design.
you can plug in. It's like having an AC port in your car, at least in the high-end trim IONIQ 5. Can you see right in the back, like in this, is there? Yeah, there is a plug there.
Oh, yeah.
There is one. So this car has that plug in the back as well. So you can plug in any AC device, you know, laptop, or, you know, there's no massaging seats on this car. So if you were to get one of those things you buy,
Not getting one of those.
No, I'm not suggesting that you should get one.
Well,
I'm
you
saying,
have in the
if
past.
you were to get one, we got it and returned it. It was like, I didn't even fit in the seat anymore. So, but you could plug that in to a device like that, which is quite nice. Yeah, so the charging, these things charge really well. And to give you sort of one of the benefits of an 800 volt architecture car, even if you plug into a 150 at, let's say, Electrify America, I've seen as much as 175 kilowatts. What does that all mean? That means it charges faster, and you can get on your way a lot quicker than you could do that. So yeah, it's good to be back in this type of car.
What do you think about the styling on the outside?
I actually like the styling. I when it first came out, I did not like the styling, especially the back. It's kind of like this wraparound spoiler. And as I've seen them, it's quite good. Now it's got a lot of, it's a very high back in the back, but I'll tell you what, the visibility is better in this car than it is in the Y out the rear.
I have very little visibility
Yeah.
out the back.
You do have conventional turn signals and stalks, not like what's in the X or the S or what's about to come out in the new Model
And they're
3
all in the
refresh.
right place.
Yeah, it's
So just-
very conventional feeling car. Don't be afraid to go and try and drive one of these. If you put on your turn signal, you've got the, actually, are there blind spot?
Yeah, I see but that guy's right there.
No,
Put
I'm
it on.
not.
Just put it on. Yeah, there. See, it's lit.
Yeah, but I'm trying to say, like, if I put on my turn signal,
We did have your turn signal on.
I know,
Otherwise,
but I don't see a light over there. What I'm saying.
Because nobody's behind.
No, but-
Oh, you're saying you don't see the directional light.
Right.
But you have the warning light.
Yeah, in the mirror, you do have that, which is
Another
good.
great feature.
Which
That's
is a great
good
feature. But what's interesting is, I'm going to turn off the HDA for a second here. What's interesting is in both my IONIQ 5 as well as your GV60, which both had the heads-up display, the circle.
Didn't it have the screen that you could see?
Oh yeah, the circle.
We came up
Yes.
with the circle.
So the video display of using the camera to show you what's on the left or right-hand side.
Showed up in a circle.
Again, I'm gonna go through the menu and see if that is an option. But this particular EV6, the way it's configured from Hertz,
I'm
you
going
know,
to say I doubt it because I think that's a
that's just
safety
like it
thing.
comes
That
on,
would just
right?
be
Yeah.
there. I
But
don't
why wouldn't they
think
put that in
that's
this
even-
car?
Well, maybe this is the lowest end model.
No,
that
I mean
you
it's got cooled seats.
Yeah.
It's got HDA, so I don't know, but yeah, you know, and again, the ride I think is quite smooth on this car. I don't hear
No creaks, no rattles.
none.
Just the high-pitched hum.
That's got to be an option. You know what your job is? You're going to go through that menu, and your job, if you choose to accept it, is to go through and find out how to turn off that annoying noise. Because I feel like we're in Star Trek.
You know what? I'd rather call Kia and say, how do you turn off the noise?
We could call Kyle.
It's busy.
All right. Well, anyway, the thing is, good car. So let's cruise out to Long Island. We're going to do a charging session and see how it charges. We're also, you know what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to go up to Brewster, New York, and I'm going to charge this thing on the Magic Dock to see. There's been a lot of noise in the marketplace or in the news about some of the IONIQ 5s and EV6s not charging at all on Magic Dock, or charging very slowly.
Really?
Yeah, and I remember the first day that the Magic Dock opened last year at the end of February, actually this year in 2023, I took your GV60 up there and charged, and I got just over 100 kilowatts. So, and you know, it's even though it was a 250 V3, because this is an 800 volt architecture car, and the amount of energy that the amount of volts that those dispensers are putting out, it charged nowhere near as fast as it would on a 350 kilowatt, let's say, EA. But I want to see how this car charges. So I'm going to do a separate video on that.
Today we're going to do an EA.
Yeah, today we'll do an EA.
And then tomorrow you're going to go by yourself and you're going to do the Magic.
You're not coming with me?
No.
Don't you get allured to the term Magic Dock? Doesn't that like pique your interest? No?
I know, I've done it. I've been there.
Oh, okay.
So
all right.
I don't need to revisit.
All right. All right, we'll catch you in a bit. So I went into the setup and I saw this thing called active sound design. And
boy, was it active.
Yeah, it was active. It was on the largest change, and I put it to off and it immediately went off. So yeah, I mean, look, if you want to feel like an alien, I highly recommend go to setup, go to active sound design, and choose largest change. I mean, you'll be a Martian in no time. It's like
grow antennas.
Grow antennas, yeah. I mean, it sounds weird. There are these nature sounds that they have that pipe through the system. I don't know. That's kind of stupid to me, but they have that, and they have this whole like ambiance.
Well, I like the ambiance colors.
Yeah,
that's always fun for a mood changer.
They're kind of nice, I guess.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't bother me. But
no.
that sound was really getting to me.
Yeah, that sound. And how about that guy that almost just cut us off? One thing is, I know where the horn is on this car as opposed to my Model X. Right? It's right smack in the middle where it should be. Why mess with things that work? Why change it?
Well, you know, change sometimes is for the better.
Sometimes.
But I think on a car where you need a horn in an emergency situation, we all know where the horn is.
Yeah.
Unless you're driving a Model X, then it's a free
Well,
the
Model S refresh, the Model S, the Model X, the new ones, or the Model 3 refresh. They did put the horn actually on the Model 3 refresh. They did put the horn there.
Oh, back?
Yeah, right
Oh,
in the
it was
center.
always there on the 3. I don't know.
It's always been there in the 3 and the Y.
Yeah.
But many people thought because they were eliminating the stocks on the new refresh, they're removing the stocks on that. They figured, a lot of people, maybe just me, I thought maybe they would also put the horn like as a little button off to the sign. But
I have a feeling one day they'll come back to center.
Well, it looks like they've done it already with the Model 3 refresh.
I know, but I mean on the X.
Yeah.
And maybe the stocks will come back too.
Maybe.
I don't really understand.
Although the sexy button guys apparently have a mod for that.
Yeah, I want it.
Well, look, our Model X is out in Colorado. Maybe they'll send him a prototype. If you're watching, could you please send Kyle
some stocks,
sexy buttons? Send while you're at it, send some sexy buttons too. I don't know what I would use them for.
I think we thought of a plan when we were in the car. I said I could use this. There were like 3 things I thought would be.
You know what Kyle does with his sexy buttons? He puts them on the back of the screen, so they're hidden, but he knows where they are. I like that. Yeah. I remember I used to mount my Escort Max 360Cs, the little button in the back to mute it, because when you hardwire them, otherwise you were having to reach all the way down. And that was good because I knew exactly where to mute it right behind the screen. And aesthetically, it looked nice.
Yeah.
All right, so here we are on Long Island in Dix Hills, and I am plugged in to this DC fast charger, the Tritium. This is the 50 kilowatt version. Not much juice, but you know what? Always be charging. So you might as well charge when you can. So I just plugged in as a guest. I didn't put in any credit card information, and let's see what state of charge. We're pulling 49.9 kilowatts. This is also a CHAdeMO, which is interesting here. So, and they've got lots more room here for charging stations. And let's just see what we're pulling inside here. Let's see what state of charge. About a 48% state of charge. I don't know why I've got my light on there. I gotta figure out how to turn that off. Yeah, so 48% state of charge, pulling 49 kilowatts. We're at 118 miles of range. This is the 77.4 kilowatt hour battery pack for the Kia EV6. And you might as well grab the juice, even if it's only 50 kilowatts. All right, so you may be wondering why I'm taking video of my feet, and here's the reason. It's not that some cars, the brake pedal is very close to the accelerator. There's enough distance there, but the problem is where I like to put my foot and where I keep the angle of my foot. It's at such a high angle. I wish it were more at an angle like this, but then if I do that, then my knee goes super high here in the car. So where I am properly seated for, comfort, when I am actually driving, my foot has to be at this arched back angle. So instead of being down like this, it's up like this. And I start getting a pain right up in here in my foot. Maybe it's my old age, but I don't remember that in the IONIQ 5 or the EV or the Genesis, but I definitely feel it in this car. My foot is just, it should be like that and then push down. But here I got to keep my foot like basically there. It sounds like a small thing, but it really bothers me. And I am 6'5", so maybe it's my long legs. So this particular car does not come with the sliding glass roof, the wind. I think you got to go to the GT line to get that. So it's a hard top. And I, being 6'5", you can put the seat nice and low, and I do have plenty of headroom. Although what I understand is that when you get the glass roof, it takes about 2.5 inches away. That's a lot, 2.5 inches. So if you're a tall person, make sure that you check out and sit in the car and get comfortable with it so that your hair doesn't start brushing up the top of the roof. In this EV6 without the glass roof, I'm totally fine being 6. All right, so this is the on-off button, which I guess just driving a Tesla now, I just don't know why we need this button. I don't get it. Why can't you just get in the car and it already be on? And why can't you, when you get out of the car, just walk away from it? The fact that you have to use the key fob in this trim, you have to use the key fob when you approach the car. It doesn't actually unlock the car. That's number one. And then number two, the way with which they show you where to, I guess they got this little ridge there, so you can become accustomed that this part's lock and this part's unlock there. But it's kind of weird. I don't know. Carrying a key fob, I don't know why we can't just eliminate this power button and have the car automatically lock when you approach it. Maybe that's on the higher level trim. I would say that the technology package is something that I would definitely get, because you notice this other button here, which is the camera button. When you're in reverse, you'll see that you don't have the surround sound. The surround cameras. You just get these sensors over there. So listen, for $1,500, I would definitely tick the box on the technology package for this wind edition. We'll go over some of the others as well. But, clearly, I think just the turn signals and not having the blind spot, it's a really nice feature, really nice, live video in a round circle that comes up there. But there's a number of little things that you just don't get in this trim package, which personally, I think you need. All right, a couple of things about this wireless charging pad. First of all, there's only one. It works fine, but where it is, the placement of where it is, when you put your phone on it and then you shut this, you can't actually see your phone. Now, maybe you shouldn't see your phone, but you can only see half your phone because it sort of covers it up, or, you know, a third of your phone you can't see. So, you know, when you do get an email or a text or what have you, you don't want to look here. What you want to do is you want to connect it up through Apple CarPlay, and which this has both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which is fine. So make sure that you do that. And I don't believe this has wireless Apple CarPlay. I believe you have to plug it in, and there are a couple of ports down there that you can do it in, USB-C and USB-A. And I do like these 12 volts down there, both of those, good for radar detector or what have you. But one of the things about this wireless charging pad compared to the ones that are in our Teslas is the phone gets super hot. And I've read that that's maybe not so good for the phone. I don't know why. Maybe they're putting a lot more power into it than perhaps what Tesla does, but that's kind of a strange thing. So yeah, that's another little niggle, if you will, from my standpoint. Another miss is this is the wind trim with the non-technology pack. And a couple of things. When you put on your turn signal, you don't get those little circle video screens that show you what's in your blind spot. I love that feature, and I loved that feature in our Genesis, and I loved it in our Hyundai IONIQ 5. But unless you get the technology package, which is $1,500, that packages a whole bunch of other things, you don't get that. The other thing that you don't get in this particular trim, at least not here in the United States, I can't speak for other countries, but you got your cooled seats, you got your heated seats, but there's no heated steering wheel. I mean, come on. That's crazy. I mean, one of the things that I like to do when I'm hypermiling is use the heated seat and the heated steering wheel to keep warm. And that way you can turn the AC, you know, the heat down in the climate control, because it uses far less energy to keep those things warm. So again, that's a miss on this. Every trim level, in my opinion, should have a heated steering wheel. Come on, guys.